G'day there guys, it's your main man Markee, and welcome back to another episode of r/AmITheA, where on our first story today, OP tips their Domino's delivery driver a little bit more, which causes an argument, which isn't okay? Who knows, I'm not judge, jury, and executioner. But if you guys love today's stories, I want you to sit back, relax, chuck a prawn to the Barbie, and get ready for them. Let's go. Am I the asshole for tipping a Domino's delivery driver? My girlfriend and I order in a lot for date nights for logistical reasons. Like, a lot. She really likes Domino's pizza. It's an easy food for her, and she has texture/sensory issues. I'm not gonna judge. I certainly don't mind anything, whatever she wants to eat. It's hard finding stuff she likes at restaurants that won't upset her stomach or set off the texture thing. She just has a thing where she's the one that has to order the food, and she never does more than a 12% tip. Problem is, we've been ordering a lot, and the same guy has been coming the last half dozen times, and he's always been great. Never a problem, friendly, on time, hot, no issues with the pizza going sideways and being a mess when it arrives, and so on. One time he even grabbed us an extra thing of garlic dipping sauce, and she wasn't complaining when she used that. When I saw his name yet again this time, it's an unmistakable name, I started thinking. I grabbed a $5 from my wallet and brought it with me when I answered the door. I asked the guy, hey, can you accept direct tips, like from me? And he said yeah, so I offered him the money and took the food. My girlfriend overheard and got on me about being a condescending asshole, about the fact being a regular Joe just trying to make ends meet is hard enough without pity handouts or my savior complex. Plus, she said that I was undermining her, which was the big thing, and that she feels I just called her cheap and undervaluing work, despite her having been in retail, but she said that it's literally what he gets paid to do. That is the bare minimum, and that's that. It's really messed up date night, and she's super pissed with me now. I just wanted to recognize that this guy was doing a lot of work, and was helpful, and is always nice to us, that he even goes above what we ask. I don't know. Maybe it came across condescending, and like I was calling her tip not good enough. OP has offered the following explanation for why they think they might be the asshole. I might have come across really bad that, oh, the tip we gave wasn't enough, here's some more. Like she said, savior complex. Wanting to give more money because of perceived lack of income, I guess. Like, oh, poor you have to work as a Domino's delivery guy, I pity your work life. Plus, I think now she's self-conscious about how much we order, in that this guy knows us well enough to pick up extra sauce. And by offering more money, I basically said what she decided on wasn't enough for the guy. Honestly, I can see where she's coming from, in a sense, but I still think it's okay for you to give him a little bit extra, as long as you can communicate that to your girlfriend and have her understand where you are coming from. What I'm getting from this is either she doesn't care about what you're telling her, or you haven't communicated your reasons for doing it well enough. But regardless, I'm on your side for this one, and I agree with what you've been doing here. It is not a savior complex. You just want to tip him more because he's doing a great job. That should always be encouraged, not the asshole. And now in the comments, Koi Gobbler says, not the asshole. But the way your girlfriend reacted is very telling of her character, a huge red flag. I'm not understanding where she believes her anger to be justified either. Either she ordered pizza and didn't tip at all, which is incredibly shitty, especially considering the delivery drivers are putting wear and tear on their own vehicles to hand deliver her that pizza, or she did tip appropriately, and boyfriend came through with an extra tip as a bonus for how much this person delivers pizza to their place, which is a nice, wholesome thing to do. The feelings of inadequacy and incompetence are her own triggers to manage, not the asshole. Not the asshole. Your girlfriend is cheap. It's not condescending to tip the pizza delivery driver. It is an earned wage for a job well done. Your girlfriend can stay mad. It sounds like this guy has been consistently thoughtful in providing you good service, and he should be appropriately compensated. Not the asshole. If your girlfriend doesn't want people to think she's cheap, she should probably stop being so cheap. It sounds like she's quite insecure, given that she accused you of undermining her. I don't know what about. Is there an age gap or a wage gap between you? Tipping, even though it's become standard in the US, is meant to be a reward for good service. You've said this guy has consistently given good service, so you tipped him. That's just the right thing to do, and good on you for that. He probably makes minimum wage, and tips might very well be the highlight of his day, not the arsehole. And OP replies, "There's a wage gap, definitely, but in the opposite direction. She makes about 30% more than I do, but she's also new to her position, where before she got less, so probably she's adjusting still. She was in retail for a while." And yeah, that was my thought process exactly. This guy remembered we ordered 2 garlic sauces every time, and he added to it, and we loved it. So why not, was my thought. I really didn't consider that she was still insecure about her wages. And now back up to the post, there's an update. Girlfriend and I patched things up. She had gone off the rails due to the realization that she was under-tipping, and she felt bad about it. Instead of facing that, she said she pushed it to me because it felt like you had done something to make me feel like that when it was me to start with. She reacted badly, she knows it. She even knew it on the night of, but didn't know how to talk that over, as well as understanding why she went off so badly. Everything she said, she apologized for. She grew up hearing her dad talk about tipping like that, and didn't think that she'd let it get to her. She said, "It was like every time I opened my mouth, my dad's words came out." She's ashamed and appalled by the things she said. I pointed out some of the things that you all mentioned. Def not the ones where you called her psycho though. Specifically the ones about wages. She had no idea that the wages changed on the road, how little reimbursement there was, and never considered the wear and tear aspect. She's also going to a doctor about where to start with a potential ARFID diagnosis, or at least just looking into it even if it's not specifically that. First things first though, our next delivery is getting a hefty tip, and so are the rest. Thanks for everything, guys. Oh, and one more edit because it's funny. I meant the pizzas are always hot. Pizza dude's definitely not my type. Our next post is titled, "Am I the asshole for confiscating my daughter's phone for half an hour?" She is 16. We have screen time rules, but honestly, we have never had to enforce them with her, as she's a smart kid who has many varied interests. Over the last week and a half, she's been on her phone all day. I've let it slide, as it's summer, and she still does other things, and she only spends a lot of time talking to her best friend Jane. We have pretty strict dining table rules about phone use. If you pick up your phone 3 times during dinner, unless it's an emergency, your phone gets grounded for half an hour. I will be honest here, I've had my phone grounded the most. We were having dinner, and she was texting her friend. My husband pointed it out. She kept the phone down, but then she picked it up again a few minutes later. I teased her and asked her if she was texting a boy. She said it was Jane, and then kept the phone down. She picked it up the 3rd time a few minutes later, and her phone got grounded. She handed it over without a fight, but she looked sad doing it. She was stewing for the whole half an hour. She was curt and rude while she waited the punishment out. She grabbed the phone and then left. She was very frustrated at us. She sarcastically thanked us for ruining her night and retreated to her room. I feel like an asshole because I'm sure I missed something here. She has been punished for the texting while dining, and she accepted far better. My husband also thinks that we messed up here. He feels that something we did or said hurt her. It is also odd that she gave up the phone so quickly. We do let them get away with it if they have a somewhat valid excuse, and she didn't even try to fight it. My son also made it obvious through body language that we had messed up. Edit, I did talk to her this morning. She said everything was fine and shrugged it off. She didn't seem sad at all at dinner, and she didn't look stressed. She seemed happy. I wouldn't have ever teased her if she was even a bit sad or stressed out. Now in the comments, no assholes here. You had a rule, you enforced it. She broke the rule, accepted the consequence, but didn't like it, which is standard per the teenager handbook. Here's the thing though. Clearly your daughter has something going on. I don't know what, but something. She is entitled to her privacy, but you may want to be a little easy on her the next day or so, and talk about the issue of forcing her bad mood on others. She's at the perfect age to do so. It's also possible her friend was having issues and needed to talk, but she didn't want to say anything because it wasn't her place. I've been that friend before. It was nothing life-threatening, but I was there to talk because they were struggling. But if she knew she would be asked what was wrong if she brought up her valid excuse, it would open a can of worms that she felt that she shouldn't share. No assholes here. I can see why she's frustrated, but I feel like the whole 3 strikes rule is weird. You'll just watch and count how many times everyone picks up their phones? Seems like it'd be a lot cleaner to just not allow phones at the dinner table, and then there wouldn't be any awkwardness around it. She could have just left her phone in the other room and picked it up at the end of dinner. And OP replies, "We wanted to enforce the same rules on everyone, and my husband gets work calls often enough that it would be unviable. It is good fun. They love enforcing this rule on us too." Well, that brings a lot of clarity. It makes sense if that's what works for your family. Still no arseholes here. I agree with a lot of the others who think that you could check in on her. If you find her behavior concerning or not normal, I encourage you to let her know that you support her and are there to listen if she needs it. And OP replies, "She seemed fine today. Still on the phone a lot more. I did ask her if she was fine, and I was willing to listen if she wanted to talk to me. She just shrugged it off. That also made me feel like an asshole. It sounds like she's just being a teenager, and you shouldn't take it personally. It's great the rule applies to everyone, and they get to enforce it too. She's just being a teenager about the fact that it happened to her as well." And now on to the update. I was judged not the asshole, but some commenters pointed out I was the asshole for teasing her. A commenter also said that my teasing would have rubbed her the wrong way if she had a girlfriend. I hadn't really thought that one of our children is part of the LGBTQ community, but after thinking about it, I realized I wouldn't be surprised if my daughter turned out to have a girlfriend. I talked to my husband, we agreed that we need to be a bit more conspicuous about our language and using gender-neutral terms when speaking to them. I talked to her and apologized for teasing her and said that we would stop teasing them about their romantic partners as it could be a sensitive topic. My daughter reads a lot. She loves to read fantasy, and I occasionally buy her a book that I think she may like. I looked up any sci-fi or fantasy book with great representation, and I found a really great book with solid reviews, which centered around 2 women falling in love. I ended up buying it and giving it to her. She looked practically giddy when I gave it to her. We've talked about the book, and she said she loved it and thanked me for buying it. I bragged about my good taste, and she rolled her eyes and teased me and said I got lucky. It was a pretty normal interaction, but I could see it meant a lot to her. And now in the comments, "You have dealt with that beautifully. I think a child should always know that they can talk to their parents without fearing a hurtful/volatile response. You have shown her that you can review your actions and apologize when necessary. That said, I don't think you dealt with it wrong either." This sounds like great parenting. But what book was it? You can't say you found a book with great representation and then not say which one. And OP replies, "Hey, sorry. It was This Is How You Lose the Time War by Amal and Max Gladstone. Oh, that is an absolute masterpiece." Not the asshole. That is so wholesome, it made my heart smile. Your kids are lucky to have great parents like you and your wife. You made a mistake, apologized, and corrected it. You not only corrected it, you went out of your way to make a safe space for your kid without putting them on the spot. A home run. Made me tear up. And our next post is titled, "Am I the asshole for not letting go of the past?" I, 23 female, grew up in a smallish town. I was bullied badly by a boy, Brad, from the age of 12 to 14, who was a couple of grades above me in secondary school. He made my life miserable. My older brother shielded me from some of it, but when he graduated, Brad showed me hell. He had just come out as gay, and I think all of his personality revolved around his sexuality at that time. I learned later that he hated my family because I was raised Catholic, which meant automatically we were a bunch of homophobes. His father disowned him, and his dad was a Catholic, so while I understood his anger, I didn't do anything to him personally, but he made my life miserable anyway. I only enjoyed school after himself and his clique graduated. I tried to report him, but nothing really came out of it. I had to suck it up as the school was the best in the area at that time, and I wasn't going to let him win anyway. Fast forward to a few years, and I'm in uni in a city a couple of hours away from home, and I find out Brad is in the same department and discipline as me. At this point, I was certain the universe was against me. I know he was just as shocked when he saw me, but I pretended he doesn't exist for my own peace of mind. He never acknowledged my existence either, and neither did he apologize. My maternal cousin Kenzie is my roommate. We are in the same uni, and we've always been in touch. Spending holidays and vacations together growing up, she's known about Brad since forever, as he was a household name in my nuclear family. Last weekend, we went to my cousin's family house for Sunday dinner, and Kenzie's big brother brought his partner to meet the fam, and surprise, surprise, Brad walks in with flowers. I asked him what the hell he was doing here, and my aunt demands to know why I was being so rude. I told Kenzie that was Brad, grabbed my phone, and took a walk. Apparently Kenzie filled everyone in, and Brad was kicked out and was broken up with. Kenzie's brother was bullied severely, so they take bullying very seriously. Brad and some of his friends have taken to sending me countless messages on Facebook and Instagram, calling me a cow that can't move on from the past. He said I ruined his life. Am I the asshole? OP has offered the following explanation for why they think they might be the asshole. I think I might be the asshole because I could have easily made it through dinner without telling them who Brad was, or maybe telling them privately. Not as dramatically as I did, hence him getting kicked out. Now in the comments, not the arsehole. Quote, Brad and some of his friends have taken to sending me countless messages on Facebook and IG, calling me a cow that can't move on from the past. He said I ruined his life. So, Brad is still a bully. He could have just as easily reached out and apologized for the pain that he caused you in the past. Instead, he went on the offensive and attacked again. Everyone you know is better off knowing this about Brad. Remain professional at school and in your department, and if Brad acts inappropriately in any way, give him one warning, that you are not going to sit and take his bullying this time. He can choose to act professionally or continue being a bully. That is his choice. If he continues the bullying, you will do something about it. If he persists, talk to your dean. And note, you don't have to give him a second chance. If he misbehaves in the university setting, go straight to your dean. I second this. Also, screen cap the abusive messages so you have evidence. Screen cap it before they have a chance to edit anything if they can. Don't give the rats a chance to defend themselves or twist words. Not the asshole. Brad is definitely still a bully. After Kenzie told everyone else about him, he could have stated, yes, I was a crap, and I regret it, and I want to apologize to OP about it, and if he had have done something like that, likely he would not have been told to leave and get dumped, which makes me wonder what he did say instead. This, like the correct adult response is, I'm so sorry, I was going through some stuff, I was a kid and I didn't know how to handle my emotions. I hope you can forgive me for how I treated you. For frick's sake, why do people double down in these cases? You were basically proving the point. Not the asshole. He was a couple of years older than you, right? 15 or 16? Old enough to know better than to bully someone. And if he's taken to sending you abusive messages on social media, then he probably hasn't changed that much. Good riddance. And OP replies, he's 2 or 3 years older than I am. Honestly, with the messages I've received, I feel like I'm back in high school, but online this time. Not the arsehole. You got the opportunity to publicly tell him how you feel. It's probably best that you were surprised, or else you may have kept quiet. Brad could have taken the opportunity to apologize and show some personal growth, but instead, he's decided to cyberbully you with some of his friends. The fact that he is still harassing you should reinforce that you are not the asshole in this situation. And now back up to the post, we have an edit. Edit, I have read every single one of your comments and I appreciate your kind words. I have made screenshots of the online bullying, as they haven't stopped at all, and I have an appointment with my head of department and dean on Monday. Things might not end up pretty for Brad, but at this point, I am past caring. Thanks, everyone. And now the update. I couldn't update till I was sure that the dust had settled. Unfortunately, things took a turn for the worst. 2 days after I made the post, I had an 11 AM lecture that I went for, and I saw Brad, who cornered me with his friends to trash talk me. It felt like he had been waiting for me. He told me if the little nonsense I pulled was me trying to get revenge, then he was going to show me. I had a mild panic attack and called my cousin. She was so pissed that we walked straight to the dean's office. I was able to see her, and we showed her the screenshots of the bullying online, and this lady turned red. Apparently, I am not Brad's first victim. He bullied a guy so much that he had to transfer and then reported him. I don't know why they didn't do anything then, but he definitely has a reputation. I missed all the gist because I was serious about minding my business. Long story short, I was asked to print out the pictures and bring it to the Senate. That's what our school court is called, on Wednesday. Because this isn't his first time, he was indefinitely rusticated and was made to apologize to me and every person he's bullied in my school. It was a big deal, and the news has been flying around school. He has the option of transferring to another uni to redo his final year, or start uni all over again, but it's on his permanent file. His friends were pardoned for some reason. I feel bad because exams are in 9 weeks, but he actually had it coming. I'm just glad that this is over. Thank you all for your advice and support, and I honestly wouldn't have reported this if I hadn't posted on here. Have a great weekend. And now in the comments, oh wow, what an ordeal for you, and you must be so proud of yourself for finally standing up to your bully. Nothing you have done has caused this. Brad is the victim of his own actions, and only his actions. You obviously weren't the only person he bullied, but thanks to you, he now finally realizes those actions carry serious consequences. Hopefully he will learn from this, but that is no longer your concern. Go live your best life and leave him behind once and for all. Don't feel guilty. You most likely protected people from becoming his next victim. Be proud of what you have done. You did good, best of luck to you. My eyes lit up when I saw this update. You did great, and Brad got what he deserved. I'm sure Kenzie's big brother is more than grateful to you for exposing Brad and his true nature. It's just unbelievable how some people never change. Yes, OP allowed Kenzie's brother to dodge a huge bullet. I can't imagine how a long-term relationship with someone so cruel would have turned out. I bet she saved him quite a bit of trauma. I hope he doesn't feel too messed up from the experience. In short, great job to OP. She helped a lot of people, not just herself. Alright, and I think that's where I'm going to leave the episode today, guys. If you did enjoy it, feel free to hit that like button if you haven't subscribed, as apparently 40% or more of you guys at the channel aren't subscribed. What's going on? This is a tragedy worse than TikTok ever existing. I will go to the grave with that. Anyway, if you guys loved it, I love you, and I will see you in the next episode. Bye.